Shifters, Entrepreneurs on the Move, with your host, Amanda Barr, bringing you power-packed 15-minute conversations with entrepreneurs who share their stories of shifting in life and business to keep on the move.
Welcome to episode number 7. I've got one of our 2019 top 100 companies we spotlighted, Jaden Risner, with CEO and co-founder of Family Proud. Family Proud is a software that helps bring peace of mind to families going through hardship. Welcome to the show, Jaden.
Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You know, I've been cheering you on for a while and excited to kind of get your backstory and have you share with the world a little bit of how you got to where you are today. So please dive in.
All right. Awesome. No, thanks so much. Yeah, so backstory, Family Proud, myself, 12-year active duty Navy. For myself, it was a recommit mission, but one of my deployments, mother had a heart attack, and that concept of remote support. And so certainly seeing families going through managing that type of burden of care, whether it be emotional, what to do, who to talk to, the financial, all the out-of-pocket expenses and the logistical, just managing everyday care. And so for me, it was really recommit and service and mission for me in terms of, there's definitely a better way for families to address this. And then was fortunate to meet my co-founder, Clay, during the MBA program we went through here in San Diego. And Clay himself, 2-time cancer survivor. So Clay understood the patient aspect and myself understood the caretaker aspect. And so for us, really just staying focused on really the family. What can we do to help the families out?
Yeah. Woo! That's power pack. So you're kind of one of your shifts. What I'm hearing is you encountered something with your family, and I hope your mom is doing okay through her situation. And then you're also your co-founder. He went through a personal, and he's surviving cancer, and that's exciting. And hats off to him, and thank you for your service. Maybe dive us into these shifts, because it sounded like you were going through things, and now you've created, Family Proud from this. So maybe share a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of the shift, it's definitely, I think, just like anything out there, I mean, certainly identifying a problem and trying to come up with a solution. And, unfortunately or fortunately, however we want to look at it, in terms of having that personal experience and truly understanding the pain points of, what families are going through and what I've gone through in the past. And so I think just realizing that, there is a better way. And I think just myself and Clay and everyone on our team does have a touch point. And I think most people listening probably do. I think, healthcare doesn't discriminate. Unfortunately, despite the amazing work that all the people in healthcare do out there, there's oftentimes not enough in terms of the resources and what's out there for families. And so just looking to provide another alternative and change the way that our loved ones navigate hardship.
Yeah. Maybe tell everybody, I'd like to know more about how that works. Like, how do you connect people that are either going through something, that have a sickness, or a family member is going through something, so everybody can understand what that really looks like?
Yeah, sure. No, so Family Proud allows is we have a peer-to-peer. So now a mother whose son is diagnosed with cancer can connect to another mother and talk to someone who truly understands. And we say that with the fact that even if you have an amazing family or an amazing hospital staff or support, unless they've been through the specific adversity, they can't say that they understand. And so the ability to connect families, whether as a patient themselves or a caretaker, to someone who's been through that specific adversity is really powerful, and for them to share those lessons learned. And so that is one component of Family Proud, and then we do have a financial and logistical component as well to address those other needs.
Yeah. Now, when you started off, and when did you start Family Proud? What was the year, 2 years ago?
Pen to paper in February-ish of 2018. Officially became a company in early fall of 2018. So I guess you could say just over 2 years in terms of at least, working on it diligently.
Yeah, and since we've got entrepreneurs that I know are listening today, when you put pen to paper to the launch in fall and to where you are now in 2020. Maybe take us through some of the shifts, what you thought it was going to go as, and some things that maybe came up along the way that you decided to take it a different route, or if it was exactly as it planned.
Yeah, so if I were answering this question with a whiteboard, it would just be a web of squigglies and drawing lines in every possible direction. But no, to that point, it's actually interesting. That on that first day that Clay and I sat down to start this and really were committed to saying, yep, here's the idea, here's our brainstorm of what we want this to be. We actually looked back at that piece of paper document. We have a saved PDF of it, which is pretty cool. And we're actually pretty in line with it, which is pretty amazing. So
awesome.
But with that said, it hasn't gone the way, nothing ever goes the way that it's planned to go. But and I think the only thing that's the constant, right? Of course, people always say the only constant is change, and I think the ability to be flexible through these different shifts, but ultimately, keeping your eye on what the end state mission is. And for us as a company, very fortunate to have that North Star and mission, very intact in terms of, like you introduced us, in terms of bringing peace of mind to patients and families, ultimately helping as many families as we can, and keeping, the motto, families first. And so, that is the top of the mountain, right, in terms of our focus. And so, some people will have the ski pass and they take the ski lift up one side of the mountain, whether that's capital or, access and resources to a specific industry. Clay and I certainly, fortunate in some ways, but truly just climbing the backside in terms of the backside of the mountain in terms of through the woods and the darkness. But, ultimately, the only thing that hasn't changed is our end state mission in terms of what we're trying to do. But, the pathway to get there has been a number of shifts. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And I actually like the ski lift example. So you can just ride the ski lift up, or you can climb the back.
And so, there's different people, and, that goes into, like, we are a healthcare tech, software company. Do I have a background in healthcare? No. Do I have a background in tech? No. So people sometimes are a little surprised by that. But I think, once again, having that mission and focus, and then surrounding yourself with the right people and the right team, you can certainly accomplish a lot.
Yeah, I'd actually like to dive into that. And I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs that have said this, like, I didn't have any experience in this field. I just had a passion to make something happen, and I dove in. So maybe since you don't have any, coming into the world, you now have learned so much and you've grown so much in this space. But, what was that thought, when you started talking to people, and how did you overcome that? Was it a mindset thing? How did you navigate through those waters of, I don't know what this space is, but I'm going to figure it out?
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think, I guess the one thing I did have is the purpose and the experience of the problem. And so that, fueled the fire for the mission. And so I think, in terms of navigating that path, or, just kind of navigating the climb, is, for me personally, I think, it applies in a lot of ways, and you see this in a lot of different founders or companies, but I think, certainly always being open to learning and wanting to learn as much as possible. And I think, that it's a lifelong journey, but I think for myself personally, certainly staying humble and, accepting and just finding as many people as possible to learn from and grow from. And, obviously with time, you have to be selective as that goes along, but in terms of not being familiar in a space is certainly, when you jump into the deep end, I think staying humble is a big one.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, in terms of what's to come, it's 2020, and you've been in business for a bit, and you've got big plans. So I'd love to hear maybe what you've got on the horizon, and how you guys are going to navigate the shifts through that. What's the next steps for you?
Yeah, so no, I appreciate it. We're definitely in an exciting time. I'm still really early stages, still climbing the mountain, and figuring things out, how to best, apply that and introduce the business and help families. But for us, in terms of, the upcoming shifts, is, we are an interesting intersection of moving from a, super young startup to okay, viable business to, what does those next steps look like? And for us, making sure we have a good roadmap in place to support that, both from a scalability and team growth side, but also for us, especially with what we're doing, is making sure we're doing it the right way and not losing sight of our focus. And so I think, there'll be some challenging decision points coming up, but I think staying true to what we started out to do, and staying focused on the families will guide us through that.
No, that's great. I love it. Oh, so many amazing nuggets, and I mean, it's like just kind of thinking through all these different pieces. And for those that are listening today, I'd love to get maybe some advice from you. I know you already gave a ton of advice, and I probably need to go back there and listen to it myself. But if you were to give an entrepreneur, if they're either new or in the mix and they're just trying to, want to keep on the move, what would you say that has helped you to keep on the move, or an advice piece that you would say this could help you to keep moving, keep shifting, and keep going?
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, first off, there's no easy way. I joke about the ski lift, but there really is no easy way if you're, growing something special. And with that, I think everything starts with awareness. So taking care of yourself is a big one. And being very intentional, I think, is also a huge one. So, whether you're burning out or how much time what is the balance? There is no balance, but being aware and intentional that you are making decisions to either, redline or burn out, or to cancel everything in a day to allow yourself for a reset. So I think the awareness, and that comes back down just to taking care of yourself, because it is a marathon. Yeah. And, even higher level, like, understanding that it isn't as a marathon and it's going to take a long time. And so as part of that journey, one, surrounding yourself with amazing people to support you in that. And so whether it's advisors, your teammates, it's really hard to do anything by yourself. And so I think, growing and facilitating a really strong team around you is critical. But also just, celebrating the small wins along the way and kind of keeping your eyes, like you mentioned, on the horizon. And it's a long journey. So making sure you're doing it with people you enjoy spending time with, and making sure that it is a passion and not just a good idea, because it is going to require a lot of hard work. So
yeah, that grit to keep going. And I love
right.
that you hit on a few of those things like daily wins. I think that sometimes we think that you've got to hit the end goal to celebrate, and I love that you brought that up, that you can celebrate every day if you're hitting those little goals that you need to, that are taking you to the big goal. So right on. I agree 100%. And, I know that there's families out there, and they would probably like to know more about how to find you guys and where to get connected.
Yeah.
and if they are going through, we just send all our best to those that are going through any kind of medical situation, and our hearts go out to you and your families. And Family Proud, I will say, it's got a great platform to take care of you and get you all connected to your family and friends, and keep everybody on the same page. But how do they get in touch with you? How do they know where to find you and use your services?
No, thanks, man. I think, definitely, happy to support any families that reach out to us. And then as well as if anyone knows any organizations that could be empowered, empower their families through our technology, I think those are, who we can best help. And the best way to reach out to us is going to our website, which is just www.familyproud.com. And you'll be able to reach out to us and speak to someone on our team, and we're happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Jaden, for being on the show. And we are, like I said, cheering you on and excited to see what's to come for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care and keep on the move.
Have a good one.
We hope you enjoyed the episode today. We appreciate each one of you for listening and hope you left inspired and motivated to keep on the move. If you think this episode might help or inspire someone else, please share. Don't forget to subscribe and keep in the loop to hear more incredible stories of entrepreneurs like yourself on the move. Thank you for our supporters, RTB Capital Group, Financial Powerhouse, Callcast, and Power Podcasting. Now, get out there and keep on the move.